Hello and welcome to the very first episode of Ask Mustard a Question. Are you ready? A Viking or a pirate or a garden gnome? Well, you're a garden gnome who works in a chemist, aren't you? If I couldn't restore rovers, well, the answer is I can't restore them. That's the problem. But if I could restore them, I would restore rovers. And if there weren't any rovers, I'd restore something else. It's on my mind as well. It's always on my mind. It's clutter for my mind. All the stuff around me, it slows me down. It's distracting. It's terrible. But if I did clear it all up, where would I put all my junk? Are we truly alone in the universe? Well, no, we can't be, can we? Being as the universe is literally endless. Being as there are more stars in the universe than what there are grains of sand on every beach in the world. Out there, the spread of hydrogen bouncing into each other, making new atoms of different elements altogether. There must be someone else out there with a YouTube channel called Project Nigella. If I ever did take the cooking thing seriously, that's what I should call it. If I could play the keyboard in any band other than Yes, well, is that a tribute band? Because Yes has got one S. Could be Yes. I would join Yes. And as the keyboard player, I would be called Bob Wakeman. And I'd be completely useless. If I could be any other YouTube channel other than Rover Joe, I'd be Dry Tribe. I'd be Dry Tribe and get rid of Mike Fernie and put me in instead. That's actually a serious answer. I didn't think I was going to do that. How many flies were there in China in the first place? Because if you witness a dog poo, there are a lot of flies on that. Which one do you choose to kill, or do you just stamp on the poo and then deal with the? I don't think it's true. No, it's probably not. Anyway, there must be people who go to China with maggots in their pants. If we all ate worms, would we be better at whistling? I can't figure out whether this is just a random daft question or whether there's some sort of secret message behind this. So, being as I should know the answer, I'm going to say yeah, we would, because there's a lot of protein in worms, and if you eat small quantities with lots of protein, it'd probably be good for your muscles, and then you might be better at actually contorting your face. Yeah, that'll be it. Have you ever seen a baby seagull? Isn't that question, have you ever seen a baby pigeon? Because you never see baby pigeons. But if you want to see a baby seagull, you just go to the sea and look for some rocks where some seagulls are hanging around doing a lot of squawking, and look for their eggs. And you'll see some eggs that just hatched, and you'll find tiny little squawking seagulls that don't fly over your head making loads of squawking sounds, but they make loads of squawking sounds at you. And that's how the mummy and daddy seagulls know where they've left them. In fact, actually, come to think of it, that'd be how you find them as well. I have a question for you, Gilbert T. Codwacker. Have you ever eaten a seagull? What's the price of transit face? Is that a serious question? Or is that actually got something to do with this silly questions? Because I only answer silly questions, you see. I don't answer serious questions. People will start taking me seriously. What's the difference between a duck? Now, I remember when I was at school, somebody said, as a joke, what's the difference between a cow? And the funny thing was, nobody knew. But as a joke, it was funnier than an actual joke because the question was so unexpected. So, what's the difference between a duck A sandwich. What's your favourite beer? Good question, Ali Mac. Everybody should know what my favourite beer is. And the answer is free beer. And lots of it. Cases and cases of the stuff. But actually that's not true. Because I just like nice beer. I like nice IPAs. I like nice big... Forget about that. No, free beer. That's what I like. That is the official answer. And not just free, but lots of beer. And that's not a type of beer, but it's the most honest answer I can give you. Should I cut the red or blue wire? Well, that rather depends on what these wires are actually attached to, because I don't know. Just cut the red one. It might be wrong, but just do that one anyway. Come on. Let me know if you survive. How does Boaty expect to make any money when he lives so far away and his choice of car isn't particularly very good? He doesn't! Well, as you can see, my hair is wet because this is actually the next day, and I did think I was going to do all of these little snippets yesterday, but I haven't. But that doesn't answer the question. The question is, can any of my YouTubers cut my hair and beard? And the answer is yes, they can, but I'm not going to allow them. Most of his videos is a bit drunk in anyway, so I'm always going to see him drunk. I'd very much enjoy going on a road trip with other people, preferably interesting people, preferably people that want to go on a road trip with me. I mean, it'd be rather uncomfortable if I had to spend all that time in the boot. Yes, Mustard, you may come with us on the road trip to France and Papua New Guinea. How are those two connected? That means not only I've got to spend the time in the boot, but on a boat as well. Well, I didn't actually realise there was any kind of mystery surrounding the character of Senior Mustard. But now I know there is, I think I should keep it that way. He's a mystery character. Maybe he doesn't even exist. Maybe he's just a figment of my imagination. Yeah? Ali Mac wants to know what my favourite drink is. And what he means by that is, what is my favourite beer? Because obviously you'd think my favourite drink would actually be tea. My favourite beer, and I will answer this one properly, is probably Magic Rock Cannonball. Or any of the really stupidly hoppy IPAs. They just really do it for me. Yes, right, let's not think about that just yet. You know that song, It's 5 o'clock somewhere? Well, that's never appealed to me. My rule has always been, you don't have a beer unless it's dark. And then at this time of year, it's got to be dark for a few hours. Of course, there will be someone out there that's even had a tattoo of a wristwatch saying 5 o'clock on their arm. My most hated car on the channel. What an unusual question. Why would I hate any of them? I mean, the fact is I hate all of them to a degree, and I don't think that just because something is giving you a problem you should hate it. So actually I'm going to remove the word hate from the question in the first place. And so what then the question becomes, what's your most on the channel? And that really is difficult to answer because it doesn't make any sense. The last question for this video is, who is your favourite Doctor Who? That's a cool question. That's a really interesting, well, it's not an interesting, but it's a cool question. But the answer is, I don't know, I never really watched it. But if I did have to choose a favourite Doctor Who, it would probably be Billy Piper. I don't know why I didn't see this one before, but Dick Dastardly asks, if all of the clocks in the world were to stop all at the same time, would that be the end of time? Well, depends on You could ask, did time exist before clocks were invented? And I think it must have done, because there was a time before clocks were invented. And then there were a time before that. So, you know, logically, time could not stop, even if there was no time to actually monitor it. I think that sums that one up.